Because I had three things that happened in my life. I had become very interested in negotiation and in law, and I wanted to do that. Secondly, I had just begun a new relationship with someone, and I didn't think it would stand the test of going back and forth, and it didn't eventually stand the test of going back and forth to Ottawa every week. So I thought, no, I think I have always had a habit of going through life and looking down the alleyways along my set route, and if I saw something that was intriguing or interesting, I would go down that alley for a while, and if it really intrigued me, I might stay there. And so I never really planned my life with any great sort of calculation that I would, except in the beginning when I was going to be the Time magazine correspondent of the year. But no, I was going in another direction, and I was intrigued by what lay there, and he finally convinced me though to run. And
how? Because you weren't running in at the time what was going to be a really safe, easy
No, I hadn't
seat.
even thought of running in terms of that kind of politics. I mean, medical politics is totally different, a very different kind of politics, and I found to my great dismay when I got into this politics that it was very different from what I was used to. But he said to me, he asked me, he's a very canny man, Jean Chrétien, and he said to me, you came here a long time ago, yes, as an immigrant? And I said, yes. He said, Canada has been good to you. You have done well. And I said, yes. And he said, well, isn't it time to put something back? Well, not kind of, because my dad used to always tell me, no matter what you have, if you have $2 in your pocket, you must give 50 cents to someone else, because everyone is born with a gift, a talent, no matter what that is. Life is about finding out what that talent is, following it, and then giving back through that talent. So he didn't know my father, but he struck that little tiny chord stuck somewhere in the back of my brain, and I thought, okay. And then I thought, nah, I'm going to do law. And then he said to me, you know, you've been an advocate when you were in medicine for fetal alcohol syndrome, bicycle helmets, you know, you name it, the environment, etc. He said, you know, you keep bringing these recommendations to the federal government through the CMA and to the provincial government through the BC Medical Association. He said, if you got into politics, you don't have to go and knock on anybody's door. You'd be inside that room. You'd be able to make such a difference. Well, that was too seductive for me. He caught me.
And you
I
ran. And you ran against
Kim Campbell,
a sitting prime minister.
Yes.
That's not an easy task. I mean, it turned out to be an interesting election, but it was still, at the beginning, going to be a very daunting task to run against.
Well, I wasn't thrilled to run against a woman, and I knew Kim.
Interesting.
I thought, you know, she was, in fact, it's interesting how things are serendipitous. I knew her well enough that we used to sometimes have dinner together because I belonged to the MD, MLA club and the BCMA, and we take out our MLA and talk to them and, you know, talk to them about issues to do with medicine. So I got to know her quite well, and I thought she was very bright. And then when she became Justice Minister, I said to her, I sent her a note, and I said, she'd sent me a note when I became president saying, first female president, yay! And I sent her back a note when she became Justice Minister and I said, my goodness, Justice, first ever female Justice Minister. Who knows if one day you may not be the first ever female Prime Minister. I said, but sorry, Kim, I'm still a Liberal. While I would cheer you on, I wouldn't be able to leave and go and support you. And that was a sort of a ha-ha moment between us. So when I was asked to run against her particularly, I was reluctant. I was later convinced by many people, like Sheila Copps and Marlene Carroll, and a bunch of these people came and talked to me and talked to me and talked to me, and eventually I did. But I did, when I did, she hadn't become Prime Minister yet, but she'd become Defense Minister. And I thought, you know, I probably won't beat her. I'm going to have fun. There's something I write in my memoirs. Yeah, I will say I ran against Kim Campbell. I ran for politics. I didn't win, but this is what it was like. So I saw it as an experience, and so I went in there to have a good time and have fun and have just a really great campaign. And there were lots of young people in my campaign, and we had a great deal of fun. And then she became Prime Minister, and then I thought, I'm never winning this. This is it. I'll just continue to have a great campaign, and
then you won.
And I won.
Were you shocked on election night? How would you describe how you felt when you won? You must have had some sense that the tide was turning.
Well, I had a sense, because everyone around me told me so.
Yeah.
That fatal moment with the Jean Chrétien ad that actually turned everything for the party around, the Progressive Conservative Party, we saw that on the doorstep, etc. But I still thought, who would resist a female Prime Minister, a Western female Prime Minister? No one could resist this. She'll win, even if she's the only person left standing. So I still didn't believe it, even though people were telling me that, and the streets and the door knocking was telling me that. The night we won, I was very ill.
Oh, dear.
Well, we used to go out on the bridge in the mornings and with signs and Burma shave,
yes.
And that was a lot of fun. And then we would go into bars
you basically,
in the evening.
since Burma shave is such a political term, you basically stand there and
well, we did. We had fun
signs.
Signs.
Yeah.
It was, like signs that says, half a mo, Kim is having fun. Too bad there is a country to run. Things like that, and we'd place them all along the way in the way Burma shaves used to be in the old days, where they would stretch for miles.
Sure.
So it was fun, but I was sick because we used to go into the bars in the night, because Vancouver Centre, you don't ever find anyone at home. So if you want to meet people, you have to go where they are. So in the bars, and in those days, you would be smoking in bars. And I'm very allergic to cigarette smoke, so I would get, laryngitis. I eventually, enough of that gave me quite a bad bronchitis, and the night of the election, I was sitting there with a fever raging. My dad came to be there for me. He was there for the whole election, because he was a political man, brought up by a mother.
And proud.
He was political, and he was very proud. And so he kept telling me, you've won. And I said, yeah, Daddy, I know, I'm your daughter, and of course I will win everything. Yeah. And he said, no, you've won. I've been watching, I've been analyzing, I think you've won. And so sometime early in the evening, the television stations were saying, confirmed win, and everyone was saying to me, you've got to go downstairs, all the national media is there.
And you couldn't speak either.
I said, no, there's only like 20 polls counted. We have to wait until all the polls are counted. This cannot be true. I didn't actually really believe it until it was so.